God gives the nuts, but he doesn't crack them. Franz Kafka is one of the most infamous and influential thinkers, historians, and novelists of the 20th century who contributed a lot towards Metamorphosis. This particular quote sheds light on the importance of doing some effort in order to excel. Well does not come to thirst, but a thirsty person goes to well to quench his thirst. Same way, we get an opportunity and we have to seize it and make the best out of it. People who wait for miracles and want others to do things for them hammer their heads against the wall. So long as you have food in your mouth, you have solved all the questions for the time being. There exists disparities and indifferences in the world. Above all, the primary task is to safeguard our very own existence. There are people who hardly meet their ends. We are blessed as we have got the meal on our plate. We often ignore the ones below us and look towards more influential and wealthy ones. The best way to end discrimination is to infuse such a social setup where there is no aggrandizement of assets and resources. There must prevail equal distribution of wealth, and concentration of wealth must be discarded. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. As everything is based upon different perspectives and points, thus there is no absolute truth. Thus we can convert our depressed thoughts into melancholic ones and cherish life once and for all. We don't own all the problems of the world, and there is much more beyond this chaotic world. Beauty adds flavors and the colors of life. Without beauty, there is no life. We must own inside and outside beauty to make our life worth remembering. Intelligent and wise people see beauty in everything, while conservative and short-minded people try to find fault in everything. There are two main human sins, from which all the others derive impatience and indolence. Nothing is perfect, and we all own imperfections. We all try to be a better version of ourselves with every passing day. However, there are certain things which one must refrain from. The lack of endurance and tolerance may bring storms in your life, and you won't be happy for the rest of your life. The other thing is laziness and carelessness, which hampers and impedes our potential. We must possess a big heart and embrace every failure and cherish success. Without failure, you can't truly enjoy and appreciate success. Don't bend. Don't water it down. Don't try to make it logical. Don't edit your own soul according to the fashion. Rather follow your most insane obsessions mercilessly. Rousseau said, and I quote, "Man was born free, but everywhere I see him in chains," unquote. We are all opposed to the traditions and customs. This rigid and orthodox mentality brings no progress and pleasure. We must not follow the wave and chalk out our own destiny and fate. It is not necessary to act sanely. Sometimes go beyond the box and endorse insanity to prevail at others. We must not change ourselves for others. People take every of our action and care for granted. We must maintain and sustain our integrity and uprightness. One of the first signs of the beginning of the understanding is the wish to die. Franz Kafka is regarded as one of the novelists who wrote much about realism and change of matter back in the 20th century. It is said sometimes things happen for a reason, and we can't undo such incidents and happenings. The best solution is to understand the reality and acknowledge whatever the fate has got in store for you. When you get an understanding about the reality of this mortal world, we wish to avoid the bitter reality and prefer death. You become content with fate and settle for the contemporary outcome. It's only because of their stupidity that they are to be so sure of themselves. Boasting and bragging openly one's talent may create some disturbance for you in life ahead. A modest person will always show less than what he is capable of, while a shallow person will always try to boast off through his absurd attitude. A stupid person has narrow approach and exaggerates things every time he interacts with people. We must avoid such company as it may not take us too under its thorny shadow. An intellect will always remain away from limelight and fame dust. He does not want people to know and appreciate him even though he is competent enough to be praised. You do not need to leave your room. Remember sitting at your table and listen. Do not even simply wait. Be quiet, still, and solitary. The world will freely offer itself to you to be unmasked. It has no choice. It will roll in ecstasy at your feet. Big ambitions require a lot of hard work and determination. Some people can never put the input which is required for being at the top. It requires some definite period of time where you don't involve yourself in some rubbish but remain positive and on your track. World will truly bow down to you and acknowledge and admit your brilliance and mettle. But to gain that glory, you have to work out a lot on your thought process and action part too. Once you achieve what you dream of, life will be quite pleasant and fabulous. I write differently from what I speak. I speak differently from what I think. I think differently from the way I ought to think, and so it all proceeds into the deepest darkness. We are what we speak and act, and it's not always necessary to do the same thing you think. We don't know how to be a good man, and we never become one. We don't act on what we think about, and this cycle keeps on repeating. We are all men of words and not action, and thus we don't move to the top as we expect, rather keep languishing into the darkness.